I know you're gonna dig this.
Too black, too strong.
Frederick Douglass becomes a symbol of the liberation of slaves in the country. Frederick Douglass, born a slave, that somehow has the audacity and drive to run away from slavery and decides to become a leader against slavery. So not only does he have the mental capacity to see himself free, he has the audacity to say, I can speak for the slaves better than the abolitionists that speak on our behalf and don't understand our pain.
Frederick Douglass is important to America because, unlike most enslaved people in America, he actually makes it out of slavery, is able to tell his story, and is able to actually become an agent for change in the black community, in America in general.
Frederick Douglass traveled the length and width and breadth of this country as a leading abolitionist that made the issue.
I know you're gonna dig this.
James Cleveland Owens was born in Oakville, Alabama on September 12, 1913. Dubbed Jesse Owens, the young athlete was a notable runner even in elementary school.
The gym teacher, Charles Riley, noticed him running on the playground and recognized the talent Jesse Owens had. Owens later wrote that Riley was the first white person he ever knew, and that he gave Owens hope that there were other white people who would understand and come to love African Americans.
After setting track records in junior high and high school, Owens was accepted to Ohio State University.
Ohio State was not desegregated at the time Jesse Owens attended school there, which meant that he had to live off campus. He was not able to eat his meals with his white colleagues, and there were no scholarships for him, so he had to work multiple jobs in order to pay his tuition.
While competing for Ohio State University, Owens won 8 individual NCAA championships and made history during the Big Ten championships.
In 1935 at the Big Ten Track and Field Championships, he broke 3 world records, he tied another record, and so within a 45-minute span, the Buckeye Bullet, as they called him, had become one of the greatest track athletes in the world.
I can't imagine anyone doing anything near to that these days. Not even just competing in those 4 events in 45 minutes and winning them, but breaking and tying world records is just phenomenal, and no one's ever done it since.
During the 1936 Summer Olympics in Berlin, Owens sealed his place in history by winning 4 gold medals in the face of Adolf Hitler.
Owens is ahead. Metcalf comes up, but Owens wins in 10.3.
The Olympics were a pivotal event in Jesse's life.
I know you're gonna dig this.
As one of the most well-known conductors of the Underground Railroad, Harriet Tubman rescued more than 300 slaves over the span of 11 years.
Harriet Tubman was one of the most remarkable women in American history.
Born a slave in the early 1820s, Araminta Ross changed her name to Harriet Tubman after marrying a free black man named John Tubman around 1844.
As a slave, Harriet Tubman was repeatedly whipped. She also later was hit by a lead weight mistakenly, but that lead weight caused her to experience narcolepsy for the rest of her life.
Fearing that she would be sold away from her family in 1849, Tubman fled to Philadelphia using an informal but well-organized network known as the Underground Railroad.
She felt that she would be sold away because she was viewed as a sickly person. She and 2 of her brothers ran away, and the brothers decided they would return to the plantation. And she, instead of abandoning them, turned around, went back with them to the plantation, and then turned around and escaped a second time by herself.
Using her own money, Tubman made separate journeys to rescue her sister and brother. And in 1851, Tubman guided a group of 11 fugitives north, earning her the nickname Moses.
Harriet Tubman was called the Moses of her people.